Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mila Braika, and we continue our studies on Ruth 2, verse 3 this time. Just one verse here. Very interesting verse, of course. I consider them all interesting, incidentally. I haven't found one that's not interesting. Some of them go through just sort of an even keel, and some of them have a lot of interesting stuff in them. This one does have quite a bit of interesting things in it. And as I meditate on these things for quite a while before producing the video. And so we're going to get into something quite interesting here in our story. So the narration, and at this point, Ruth is walking then from Bethlehem over to the field that's out in the parts. In Bethlehem, you have fields which are to the west and to the east. These are probably the fields to the west, because that would receive a little bit more moisture from the Mediterranean. The fields to the east of Bethlehem go down into the desert of Judah, so there'd be a little less chance of grain out there. But the fields that are west, I've been in that area for a few times, and from Ramat Rachel, just looking out over into the valley there towards the west, and that's probably where all of this took place. So the fields that belonged to Bethlehem, that were the inheritance of Bethlehem, and we're looking at territory that was divided up and given by lot through the work of Joshua. So let's get on to the study. 2 verse 3, verse 2 here ends with Vatomer lach lechi beti. That's then Naomi said to her, "Go, my daughter." Siluk Sof Pasuk ends that verse, and we start a new one. Va telech. This is we've seen this one's here. Walk with a hortatory sense to it, or an order sense to it, and here this is just simply indicative, prefixed indicative. Telech, and then she walked with a tau here, and tau. Yeah, a lot of the verbs here now are feminine prefixed. So, vatelech, and then she walked. Vatabo, and she came. Te-laket, and then she gathered. The King James is called gleaned. Okay, I base this. I've looked at this a little bit in the previous verse. It's based on the kof. She gets there to gather among the shibulim. Shibulim aren't mentioned here again, but the field is mentioned again. So, telaket, then she gathered. She went to work right away, gathering in this field. Bashade, Revia here. So it's a milra accenting on this word right here. Bashade has a dagesh. Yeah, would have a dagesh. Anyway, so this is patah. Patah indicates definite article. So in the field. Okay, bashade, achre, behind, after, following. Okay, we saw ahar in the previous verse in a singular sense because we're referring to the owner of the field. Now we see it in plural. Okay, hare, hakotzrim. Okay, behind the harvesters. Okay, I mentioned in the previous study that kof pops up where we see harvesting activity. Here, the gathering, the gleaning, has the kof, tying things together as you gather, and the kotzrim are the ones who harvest, the reapers, the ones who cut and then tie together. The activity of tying the sheaves of grain together with just a portion of the stalks to make a knot and hold it all together. Ancient practice still used in the Middle East until today. So just use the same grain to make up the knots that are required for holding the grain up. The idea is to stand the grain and hold it in bundles so it can be handled easier by hand. So hakotzrim, we're talking about a process that's very hand intensive or labor intensive here. The harvesters. We're going to see, you're going to see the word kotzir, harvest, and we're going to see kotzrim, the harvesters. Okay, then we have a munah right here. Ends this particular logical division of this verse, verse 3. Behind the harvesters. Va, yeker, mikreha. And it so happened, okay, the happening. It so happened, the event, the things, ker. Like I said, our author loves holding things together with a kof, and he did it again here. Vayaker, and then he held, and then it so happened. Mekera. You'd think that if the things just happening in and of by themselves would be, oh, it just happened. No, when you have something, oh, and then it just so happened. Okay, it just the way you would say it also in English, and I'm going to say the same thing happening in Hebrew here. This isn't just a happening in and of itself. This is a happening that has been made to happen. In some ways, maybe by the people involved, talking about Ruth and Naomi, but also there's in Hebrew thought the destiny, that the things that happen to us are those things. Those things are controlled by Jehovah. So destiny isn't just luck and things happen, good or bad or so forth. Whatever happens in some way is in the hands of God. So this is, and it just so happened. Okay, when you emphasize it here, anytime that Hebrew wants to emphasize something, they'll double it up, and so we see ker. Now you're going to look this up in your dictionary or lexicon. You're going to find two entirely different words, because this is the verb for it, yakar, and it happened. And then this is the noun form of this word, the happening, whatever event, okay? And so then it happened, the happening. So it's going to appear as different words, one a verb, one a noun. In fact, you're going to look for one under the mem, you're going to look for the other one under the yod. So yakir, mikara, it so happened. But this happening is a happening that are in the hands of God. Now, as I said, in harvesting, you have kof, lakach, we're going to get to kof over here again, very interesting root as well. And it's things that hold things together. So this happening is holding things together. Okay? It's the rope that ties it all together. Okay? Mikir, mikara. Okay? This happening is holding things together. It just so happened, hel, kat, ta, helkat. Well, I got tricked. This is hasadeh. This is the field. The verb ends. No, this is not a verb. This is actually, it's just so happened, the portion. Okay. So again, okay, this verb, if you haven't noticed it, is very similar to lakat. Okay, lamet kof tet. Here we have lamet kof tau. Okay. So it is a different word, okay? This one is gathering, and this one's portion. Not just portion, but inheritance. In other words, a portion that has been given to, and we'll find out soon enough, Boaz, okay? Belongs to Boaz right here. Boaz is mentioned. The portion, and this kof, again, has a role in the middle of this particular noun. This is the part where the cord has been laid out. It's got knots on the end. The knots define the position or the size and the placement of this portion of field. So take the kof again as a rope that's laid out with a knot on the end to define this particular portion, this particular inheritance. And as I said, when we're in referencing to the fields of Moab, they're just some field out there. When you're referencing the fields here in Bethlehem, you're talking about fields that have a definite portion, a definite inheritance, a definite place, a definite owner, definite family and responsible for that field and benefiting from that field. And this has been laid out under the order of Jehovah, and something that Joshua spent a lot of time doing once he was settling the tribes. So hilakat. So this kof here, just take it as a rope that's defined that particular field out there. So halkat, the field, the portion, the inheritance, all of those things are included in what we see here in this particular noun here. Hashadeh, of the field. So this would be a construct, what do you call a construct connection here, construct chain here. The portion of the field, Hashadeh, again, definite article here. The Dagish hiding right in the middle here. He tends to hide the Dagish is hidden right over here. It's definitely very similar to this word, Bashadeh, and here's Hashadeh. This one's in the field, and this one's the field. So Hashadeh, le, Boaz. This lamed right here is a possessive preposition, okay? Belonging to, towards, belonging to Boaz. Okay, Boaz is the man that's mentioned the last word of 2 verse 1. So Boaz, the man of strength. Asher, who, and again, the purpose of this particular passage is to make very clear placement of who he is, what he is, and we again see the connection here. Mishpahat, with the family, with the work group. Shaphat, you won't try to remember it, just remember it through the reduced portion of the last 4 consonants here. That defines the work group, okay? But it's a family. Some translators will go clan. That's fine too. It's just simply people who are working together, have responsibilities for each other. So mimshepahat, okay? Mimshepahat. There's a dagish in the peh here, so we have to make that one strong. We do have a rafeo on the tau. There's no rafeo on the peh, and there wouldn't be because it has a dagish. So we got mim shapahat. Elimelech, okay, from the family, from the tribe, from the clan of Elimelech. This positions Boaz in relationship to Elimelech. He has a responsibility to Elimelech and his descendants and his family. So there's some relationship there. The story really doesn't tell us whether it was a brother or cousin or what it was, but there was some relationship as a family. So we have Boaz, Asher, Mim, Shefahat, Elimelech. Beautiful passage here. What we have is Ruth going out to work on this field. It's the field, a field. It's mentioned twice here. In the field, the field. And things are happening. These things are happening not by chance. There's something very strong directing what's happening here. And we are getting now connected with Boaz, and we're maintaining the connection that Boaz has with his family. These are important connections that will form a very strong part of our narration here. When you find yourself working, when you find yourself in a position to do things, do it, and connect well with people. Honor what's there. She's in a sense, Ruth at this point maybe does not, but honoring the inheritance. Incidentally, it's this word right here, lakat, becomes important in the 4th chapter because the other guy, the other goel, the other redeemer, doesn't want to give up on his helakat, but Boaz is most certainly willing to share helakat in order to establish again the family of Elimelech. So the Lord gives us certain things, but we must use them responsibly and use them in service to Him and to the honor of His name. So whatever the Lord has given to you as an inheritance or as a portion of a field, a portion of whatever possession you have, use it for the Lord. So God bless and God strengthen you in this day.